watching him, but he's so good, it seems, at using his body to get position. And I know one of the things you talked to him about in shoot-around is going quick when he gets an offensive rebound. Don't try to put the ball on the floor. How much is he getting better at that, and how's that helping his numbers go up offensively?
I think it helps him a lot. He has had the habit to always dribble when he gets the ball in the post. And even his offensive foul tonight in the second half, his third foul, was a dribble, where he just – our rule is when he catch it in the paint, shoot. And that's a general rule, but it's the right rule for bigs.
Thank you.
We'll go ahead and start with questions for Coach from the media. We'll go ahead and get it going with Joel. Joel Coleman will start us, and then we'll go to Garrick. Joel.
Ben, this is kind of, I guess, picking up where you were talking about there. When you get in the paint, shoot it. But you guys outscore them by 32, I think, in the paint tonight. Out-rebounded them by about 23, if my math was right there. But did you kind of feel like going in that down low, whether it was on the glass or scoring, that was an area you all had a pretty big advantage tonight?
Yeah, especially with the fact that they had two players. Their starting four-man, Cunningham, was out with an injury. And then they had a kid who was slated to be eligible today, the transfer from Louisiana, who didn't play, who's a five-man that averaged 9 and 7 last year, playing on the same team with Jalen Johnson. He's a pretty good player. So when they get those two kids back, they'll be more formidable up front. And, for us, we're going to have the advantage a lot of the time inside with our size, and we've got to take advantage of it because we have some disadvantages when we're having to match up with guards with a four-man as well.
And if you don't mind following up, you told Neil there that didn't feel like you guys won by 40 or whatever it was. Just can you kind of expound upon that? Why did it kind of not feel that way?
Because it was at 20 there for quite a while, and they were playing the stuff. I thought their game plan to be really patient offensively really kept them in the game.
Go ahead,
Ben, I know in the preseason you were debating whether to keep the guys around for Christmas or in Starkville or give them a few days off to let them go home. What did you decide to do, and what's kind of the game plan before Georgia?
We're going to practice tomorrow morning before they leave, and I'm going to let them go home. I just think, with everything our players have been through mentally, starting in June with COVID, everything we've had to contend with as a group, it's important to be, able to get it with your family for a few days. And we've discussed with most of our guys are going to be really smart about staying COVID free. I mean, that's the whole key to our season is staying COVID free. And I'm just putting my trust in them and, our testing procedures here. Test again tomorrow before they leave. They'll test again upon arrival before we can practice again. To me, it's important they get a few days to be with their family and to be able to relax at home. We have probably about 4 or 5 of them that are actually going to stay here and not go anywhere. But there'll be, 7 or 8 of them that are going home, 9 of them going home.
And then I know that you'll probably look at them a lot more closely over the next week or so, but just initial impressions of Georgia and their hot start.
I have not seen Georgia play a wink. I followed that. We had a great win over Cincinnati. I actually saw maybe 30 seconds of that, but that was it. I just followed their scores. They're playing great. They're undefeated. The point guard's really playing well. So that'll be my challenge here. The next 4 days is I'll be watching film on them in preparation for practice when we come back and practice on the 26th.
We'll go ahead and get it back to Joel. Joel, go ahead.
Kind of keeping eyes on that game, but looking at your team, obviously it's coming whether, ready or not, here it comes. But do you guys feel like, or do you feel like that you're in a pretty good spot as SEC play starts? Is there anything that's, I guess, after the 8-game non-conference slate that kind of concerns you?
Yeah, I feel good about our team. I feel about the improvements that we've made. I think we're playing, pretty good defense. I think we're getting better offensively. I would love to start out the season the way it was planned with 4 games leading up to that tournament with Iverson and everybody healthy. Things happen. It is what it is. But, the bottom line is the SEC is a whole new season. Everything starts over in terms of SEC play. And once it starts, it never stops. 19 games, and they're coming at you Actually 18 games because we played one in December, but 19 total. Already, at Georgia, it's tough. It's a grind. It's going to be a real challenge. Our league is so good. You look at Arkansas and how well they played, and Tennessee. Tennessee hasn't had a game within 20, I don't think, or 30. So we have some teams that are really playing well in our conference right now, and we're just on to the next game, which is University of Georgia. He's a very good coach, Tom Crean, and that's going to be a big challenge. And then we come home and play, Kentucky, Missouri, and we're at Vanderbilt, and I don't know what's after that. I just know those first 4 games in my head.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Okay, thank you. I want everybody to have a Merry Christmas. I hope you all have a great time, and blessings to all. And let's remember the reason for the season: Christ, our Lord.
You too, Ben. Thank you, Merry.
Iverson Molinar, Texaco star of the game, as we head back into the media room now, where Quentin Post has been waiting patiently. Quentin, I appreciate your patience. I want to ask you about 2 dunks. I know you're 7 feet tall, okay, so you're already way up there. But how cool is it when you can get in there and throw the ball down like you did a couple times tonight?
Well, it felt great for sure. It's kind of unexpected for me too, but I just went up as high as possible. And well, the first one was pretty easy, and then the second one I just went up as high as possible, and I was able to dunk it down.
Now, you tell me it's unexpected. I have a hard time believing a guy with your size, it's unexpected for you to dunk. You mean that's not been a part of your game, or you just mean in the run of play it was kind of unexpected to get the ball in that spot?
I think more like my playing style, like where I'm a lot like stretching the floor, but like it feels good to mix it up and be inside too, and catch a ball down low and being able to dunk one down. So it felt good.
You got a lot of run out there tonight too, and I know that's something that's improved for you this year. More minutes on the floor. Is it becoming more natural, getting into a rhythm? Everything coming to you a little bit better because you can get into the rhythm of the game because you're out there so long right now?
Yeah, that's definitely a thing. I think, my minutes are still kind of being inconsistent, I think, but because I've played a lot of games now, it's definitely easier getting into the game sooner. So, yeah.
I ask you this question, and I'll get out of the way. You and all of the forwards tonight had to guard out on the perimeter because Valley's guys were smaller and they played a lot of 4 and even 5 out sometime tonight. Is that something that's easier for you because you're used to playing the international game where guys kind of get out and shoot the ball from distance, or is that an adjustment at this point?
I would say when I was younger, I did play a lot of. I actually played like a lot of forward, so I am used to guarding guys outside. But last few years, I've been playing mostly the 5 position, also a little bit 4. So it was an adjustment coming into this game, having to guard guys outside. But I think all the bigs did really well. We didn't really give up a lot of advantage to the other team. So I think we did really well.
Congratulations on the double-figure game. Hope to see you back out there again here in SEC play, okay?
Thanks, Nate.
All right, we'll start with questions from the media with Joel, and then we'll go to Garrick. Joel, go ahead.
When I asked Coach Allen this, and I guess from a player's perspective, though, next time you guys are on the floor, it'll be an SEC game, conference action. I guess I'll just ask you, 8 games during the non-conference, just where do you feel like this team is at right now heading into conference play?
I think we're actually a really good team. I think we had a tough time starting out the season. We missed Iverson, and of course we had a lot of guys, like a lot of freshmen having to step in. But I think we really got into our groove as a team, and I think we're going to be a really good team. I think we're a really underrated team. I think if we keep playing together like we've been doing last few games, I think we have a real good chance to make an upset.
You mentioned it, but with Iverson coming back, did that just make everything kind of, I guess, feel a little more at ease once he kind of got back into the flow of things?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I do want to say that Davon, who stepped in when Iverson was out, did a really good job as a freshman. But with Iverson coming back with that experience, especially in the point guard position, I think is a big deal for a team. So yeah, it definitely helped out, and well, you see the results.
Go ahead, Garrick.
Quentin, when the season has kind of gone on, you've seen your role expand. How comfortable would you say, how much more comfortable, I should say, would you say that you are compared to maybe game one, and do you feel that you're acclimating pretty well?
What is acclimating?
Getting used to your role, essentially. Right.
Getting used to my role. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I've gotten a lot more used to. Well, I kind of know what coach expects from me, and my mindset is just to get out there and play as hard as possible on defense. Try to really pressure the ball in ball screens, and if I'm open, I shoot the ball and try to get as much rebounds as possible. That's kind of what I try to do. So yeah, like I know my role now, and I just try to go as hard as possible.
Anything else for QP before we let him go and get Tolu up there? All right, thanks, QP.
Lou is at the podium now to talk with us after his fourth double-double of the season. Tolu, I talked to Coach Howland about this earlier, and you're doing such a good job, it seems, with your body of positioning yourself, especially on the offensive end, and then rather than trying to put it on the floor, going right back to the rim, and that's either leading to easy buckets or fouls. How much have you worked on that in the last few weeks to try to get that dribble out of the paint?
In the beginning of the season, Coach Howland emphasized me not dribbling the ball because if you watch the tournament of our first few games, it was I guess constant for me to dribble. I'm not sure why, but he just emphasized me not dribbling these next few games, and it's been working out really good for me. You
really look like a guy who can go out here and put up these kind of numbers, these double-double type numbers every night. I mean, you've done it in four out of 8 games now. Is that something, even though you didn't score a ton of points that first year at Western Kentucky because you weren't playing a ton of minutes, did you always feel like you're a guy who can be a double-double guy night in and night out?
Yes, sir. I mean, with the size of my body shape, my frame, I should be able to bring a double-double in every night. It's pretty much a necessity for our team to win.
You've got a chance now to play with a lot of different guys on that front line, too. Abdul played some tonight. Quentin Post was out there a little bit tonight. And what's it like building chemistry with those guys? And is it starting to feel like now 8 games in that everybody kind of understands everyone? You feel like you're all kind of on the same page?
Right. Like I said previously, we're becoming more of a mesh and building chemistry amongst our team. And you're starting to see it communication-wise. I feel like early on we just real quiet on the court, but now it's just constant talking, constant chatter. So you can tell that we're communicating and meshing pretty good.
Tolu, thank you.
Yes, sir.
We'll open up the media portion of the questions for Joel. Again, if you've got questions for Tolu, go ahead and queue them up in the chat for us, Joel. You can bat lead off.
Tolu, you mentioned there that everybody there just seems to be more of a chemistry developing amongst you guys and things. And how much do you think that early on that was kind of hampered with Davon kind of getting his feet wet while Iverson was out? And then, of course, Iverson comes back, and then he kind of – I guess you guys kind of have to develop a chemistry with him too. How much of the early going of this season do you think that was a factor for you all trying to, have a true freshman get his feet wet and then Iverson get back acclimated?
Well, I feel like it's tough for all of us. We got a lot of new faces, so it's obviously going to be hard to mesh at times, and just got to build that chemistry. But I feel like Davon, as a freshman, did a great job for us early on, especially early on, and he continued to do a great job for us. He's constantly learning, constantly getting better each day.
And heading into SEC play now, just where do you feel like this team is at? And, I told, like I said, Coach Allen, ready or not, here it comes. It's coming no matter what. But do you feel like you guys are ready and in a good spot as SEC play start?
Yes, sir. I feel like we're in a great spot. Obviously, they have as low than we would want to be, but I like being an underdog, and I feel like personally we put a lot of work in, and the results are going to show. So.
Hey, Tolu, thanks for the time, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, guys.